It was the kind of summer day where the sun seemed to have a personal vendetta. The air was heavy with heat, and Willow Creek was under strict water restrictions. I stood on my porch, clutching a garden hose that had gone limp, coughing out a weak hiss instead of water. I shook it, toggled the spigot, but nothing, just a sad wheeze like a punctured tire. My lawn was browning, my peppers drooping, and now this. I checked for a burst pipe, but then I heard it, a low, rhythmic gurgle, like a hot tub in full swing. It wasn't from my yard. It came from over the wooden fence I shared with my neighbor, Brenda. A whiff of chlorine-scented steam curled over the fence, taunting me. My eyes narrowed. I edged to the fence and peeked over. There was Brenda, lounging in a steaming hot tub like a self-crowned queen, oversized sunglasses on her nose, a teal robe slipping off one shoulder, and a glass of rose in hand, at 11 a.m. My jaw clenched. But what made my blood boil wasn't her lavish soak during a drought. It was the green hose snaking from her tub, under the fence, and hooked to my spigot. She wasn't just stealing water, she was turning my faucet into her personal spa pump. I cleared my throat, loud enough to startle a statue. Brenda didn't flinch. "Hey, Brenda," I called, voice sharp. "That's my water you're using." She tilted her head, like she'd heard a faint breeze, then sipped her wine and tweaked the jets. The audacity was unreal. I stormed to the gate, pounded twice. Nothing. Harder. Finally, she lifted her sunglasses, met my gaze, and purred, "Oh, is something wrong?" "I'm in my self-care hour." Her tone was pure venom. "You're stealing my water in a drought," I snapped. "Your hose is hooked to my faucet." She blinked slowly, like a cat toying with prey. "Oh, chill. It's just water. You weren't using it." I laughed, the kind that slips out when reality breaks. "Disconnect it now," I said. She smirked, cranked her Bluetooth speaker, and shut her eyes, dismissing me like I was invisible. I called the HOA, sent photos, timestamps, and porch camera footage of Brenda dragging my hose to her side. I expected justice. Instead, I got a fine. The letter cited a violation of community civility for my accusatory behavior. Brenda had spun a story of me harassing her over a gardening hose, and the HOA bought it. That night, I sat in my kitchen, nursing a cola, rereading the fine. It didn't make sense the 20th time either. Brenda had twisted the truth faster than a con artist, and I was the villain for exposing her theft. I scrolled my contacts and paused at Jake, an old buddy now in city utilities. If anyone knew how to redirect fluids with flair, it was Jake. "Ever hear of someone stealing a neighbor's water for a hot tub?" I asked when he answered. His cackle crackled through. "That's peak freeloading. What do you need?" I leaned back. "Plumbing help. And I want it to stink." We met the next day by my spigot, Brenda's lifeline to luxury. Jake smirked. "Stink water or full sewer blast?" I grinned. "Somewhere between rancid foot soak and swamp corpse." He had a spare sump pump and access to a gray water line under my crawl space, legal to tap, separate from domestic plumbing. "Can we make it look normal till she turns it on?" I asked. Jake's eyes gleamed. "It'll be poetic." 2 nights later, under cover of darkness, we installed a hidden valve, disguised by a decorative gnome I bought for the occasion. One flip and Brenda's spa would draw from a foul reservoir instead of my clean water. The trap was set. The next morning, Brenda strutted out, sun hat bobbing, speaker blaring. She hooked the hose, twisted my spigot, and water flowed. She didn't know I'd flipped the valve at dawn. This wasn't water, it was sewer sludge, and she was about to stew in it. I watched from behind my blinds, heart racing. Day 1 was recon. I didn't film, letting her think all was fine. The gnome stood guard, the trap primed. The heat wave worsened. My lawn was a patchwork of yellow, but Brenda's yard was a lush mirage. At 10 a.m., I heard her hose scrape the concrete. Same routine, tub cover off, spa playlist on, my faucet hijacked. But today, the gnome rolled. I'd switched the valve to gray water mode, recycled waste from an old utility line, legal but vile. Sipping iced tea, I watched her twist the spigot. The hose swelled, pumping filth into her tub. Brenda dipped a toe, did a little sway, oblivious. She climbed in, leaned back, eyes closed, queen of her stolen empire. Then it hit. Her nose twitched. She sniffed, swatted the air like shooing a mosquito. The bubbles churned, yellow foam rising, clumps floating. Brenda shot upright, scooped the murky water, sniffed, and screamed like she'd seen a ghost. She flailed, slipped, and face-planted onto her lawn, dripping sewer sludge. "What the hell is this?" she shrieked, smearing brown-tinged water across her arms. Her speaker crooned about rivers as her friend ran over, gagged, and backed off like Brenda was radioactive. Brenda vomited into her petunias, a perfect curtain call. I turned away, laughing so hard I nearly choked. By evening, she was at my door, hair drenched, sunglasses hiding her rage, clutching a manila envelope. "You think you're clever?" she hissed. "This will ruin you." She tossed the envelope and stormed off. Inside was a fake legal letter. Her lawyer didn't exist. I forwarded it to my attorney, who chuckled. "She's admitting to stealing your water and suing you for what came out of your spigot." Let her try. Brenda wasn't done. The HOA sent another notice, claiming I'd tampered with drainage, with a photo of my gnome labeled suspicious landscaping. It was laughable. I didn't retaliate with more sabotage. Instead, I went legal. I sent the health department photos, videos, and footage of Brenda's tub runoff leaking into the storm drain, a potential environmental violation. I CC'd a local blogger who thrived on neighborhood scandals. A week later, a city van rolled up to Brenda's. Inspectors sampled her yard, measured runoff, and taped an orange notice to her garage, "Unlicensed plumbing under investigation." Neighbors buzzed. Texts flooded in. Brenda had siphoned water before, tapped electricity, even snipped roses from yards, claiming they calmed her nerves. I wasn't her first target, just the first to strike back. Then came Colin, Brenda's ex-husband, with a USB drive of dynamite, photos of her illegal hookups, rerouted pipes, even a list of neighbors' vacation schedules. I sent it to the HOA and Utilities Enforcement. The blogger ran a piece, "Spa Queen Gets Sewer Surprise," with a blurry gnome shot. It went viral, Reddit, X, gossip pages. Brenda's tub was seized as a health hazard, wrapped in plastic and hauled off as neighbors clapped. She screamed, "I'll see you all." But her threats were empty. Brenda tried selling her house, listing it as a backyard oasis with permitted spa. I tipped the blogger. A follow-up exposed the lie. The listing tanked. She hosted a reconciliation circle to mend ties nobody showed. Someone left a sign in her yard, "No unauthorized soaking, especially in sewer sauce." Her house sat unsold, price slashed, a monument to her arrogance. The HOA apologized, revoked my fines, and asked me to join the board. I did, on my terms, no baseless rules, evidence required. Brenda crashed one meeting, accusing me of a conspiracy. We told her to file in writing. She left, humiliated. In November, a moving truck appeared. Brenda vanished without a word. Her house relist, stripped of spa fantasies. New neighbors, a quiet couple, moved in and asked before borrowing my hose. They laughed, calling me the gnome guy. I framed a viral screenshot of Brenda, sewer-soaked and shrieking, for my garage, a reminder that entitlement stinks when it meets justice. The gnome stayed, chained in place, its legend untouchable. Nobody dared touch my spigot again. Willow Creek moved on, greener and wiser, proving that even in a drought, community outlasts selfishness.